Yeah, that's my thoughts on this three-game slate from Monday. No words. Um, yeah, what's going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here, breaking the nine-game NBA main slate on Tuesday. A couple things before I get into the video. If you're new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos talking about NBA, NFL, and XFL daily fantasy sports. I'm also running a weekly $20 PayPal giveaway on my channel. How it works, all you have to do is leave and a comment in the video. That's one entry in the giveaway. Max one comment per video. So it started with my Monday NBA video that I uploaded yesterday. We'll go throughout the week. We'll end up my Monday NBA video at the end of the week. So however many videos I upload for the week, you can end the giveaway that many times. If I have 10 videos uploaded for the week, you can end the giveaway 10 times. And again, the winner receives a $20 PayPal for myself. With that out of the way, let's jump into the video. First, I guess we can look back on my lineup here from Monday's ugly three-game slate. So, yeah, it's just one of those, you throw your hands up in the air, right? The Bucks end up resting Middleton, Brook Lopez, and DiVincenzo about 10 to 15 minutes before lock, I saw, luckily. So I pivoted off of them. I left a lot of money on the table, like 3 or 4K on the table. So, well, first we can just go over what my original lineup was. So it was Trae Young, Terry Rozier, Chris Middleton was here. I had Zeller and Dedmon, and then I had DiVincenzo, PJ Washington, and Ibaka. Once all those guys got ruled out, right, so I had to switch things up. I was like, you know what, I'll get a couple of Bucks in my lineup with Brown and Connaughton. I left a lot of money on the table, like 3K, and you know what, I have the money to get to Jokic. I'm not really super excited about him, but I'll do it. So, got off Ibaka to get it to Jokic, and obviously that was a mistake. I loved Ibaka, but just, you know, the way roster construction worked, it didn't make a whole lot of sense. So it's just, yeah, super, super frustrating. Ibaka is going off. Jokic against the Bucks with basically everyone out. He's matched up against like Robin Lopez and DJ Wilson, and he has 20 fantasy points in almost, 6 minutes left. Like, what? And then top it all off, too, PJ Washington, 3 fouls in 5 minutes in the first half. Doesn't play more than that. Second half, picks up a 4th foul right away. Plays like 12 minutes. Doesn't play in overtime. That game goes to double overtime. Doesn't play in either of the overtimes. They run the Martin Bros out there, Cody and Caleb together. And I have Cody Zeller. Oh, no, he'll get some overtime run. Nope. Give it to Bismack Biyombo. Yeah, just opted out the money here. Obviously, I'm not going to cash, but it's just like, yeah, it's one of those slates you just shake your head. And then I feel bad for the people that probably pivoted off Middleton to get to Norman Powell, and Norman Powell gets injured right away. Both him and OG got injured. OG actually returned, but yeah, it's one of those slates. Is just like, I shouldn't even have played it. I said from the beginning when I made my video, I'm like, I do not like the slate at all. Turned out to be probably the worst slate of the year. So, yeah, but just want to bring one thing up too. Chris Middleton was like 40% owned. DiVincenzo was like 50% owned. So there is still an edge there, right? That's a lot of people, a lot of dead money. Now, obviously, I couldn't take advantage of it with stupid PJ Washington and Nikola Jokic in my lineup. But, if you pivoted off of those guys and avoided Norman Powell, you probably made some money. So it's always good to stay on top of things. What I like to do is always like 5 to 10 minutes before a game locks. I like to check just to make sure there's no crazy news or anything like that. And again, luckily I checked with about 15 minutes left and saw all those Milwaukee guys resting. So that's the look back on that slate. I do not want to talk about that anymore, ever. That was one of the worst slates, probably the worst slate of the year for NBA. But luckily, we got a better 9-game slate to talk about here. So, before we get into players and their prices, let's talk about some Vegas numbers. We only have 4 games out, I believe. Yeah, 4 of the 9 out right now. Celtics, Pacers, 215 over under. The Celtics are 2-point favorites. Knicks, Wizards, 227 over under. The Wizards are 4-point favorites. Timberwolves, Rockets, 244.5 over under. The Rockets are 12.5-point favorites. So that's one that has huge upside, but also has a little bit of blowout risk, right? 12.5-point spread. Magic, Grizzlies, 223 over under. The Grizzlies are 2-point favorites. So as always, we'll start with center. Towns still out. Anthony Davis is listed as probable. I expect him to go. We do have LeBron James right now currently listed as questionable. So that could change the entire slate. Would make Anthony Davis one of the best spend ups if LeBron is out. Would also make Rajon Rondo a very solid value player. Like make Kyle Kuzma more viable. So obviously LeBron news kind of does change this slate. If LeBron plays, I still like AD at under 10K, but wouldn't be like super excited about it. If LeBron misses, I love AD at that price. Porzingis, we also have Luka Doncic questionable. He had a really bad day, one of his worst games in a while after he was on a hot streak. Just shot the ball terribly, 3 of 17. Again, Luka's questionable. If Luka misses, I love Porzingis. He has huge upside. Some of his games have been with Luka playing. He's still putting up 60 plus, 70 plus. So if Luka plays, I still think Porzingis is viable. If Luka misses, I would really like Porzingis. Kind of, the same thing with LeBron James, right? If LeBron James misses, I really like Anthony Davis. If Luka misses, I really like Kristaps Porzingis. Vucevic at 9.1, I think is priced about right, but still has some upside and a good matchup. I have some interest there. Whiteside I like at 9K. We probably get around 35 minutes from him. He's a good fantasy point per minute guy. We know Phoenix runs big, whether they play have Ayton out there, he's questionable, or Aaron Baines. Let's see, Sabonis is Mr. Consistent, 8.9K. It feels like he's going to get you a double-double every single night. I know the matchup's not great, but I think he's a pretty safe option at that price. Now we get to Cleveland. So this is where I want to load up on the Cavs. So their last game, let me read you their minutes. Let me go to the Cavs and talk about their minutes. So the game went to overtime too, so everyone played, I guess, extra 5 minutes. But Kevin Love played 40 minutes. C.D. Osman, 37. Drummond, 33. Dellavedova, 45. Sexton, 39. Larry Nance, 43 off the bench. McKinney, 19. And Tristan Thompson got injured, played 8 minutes. They were in an 8-man rotation. Now, Thompson out again, or Thompson out for this game, I assume probably they dust off Zizic for like 10 to 15 minutes. No interest there. McKinney, we'll talk about that as a dark play. I think I have some interest. But everyone else here, the 6-man rotation that's basically going to play the huge minutes. Love, Osman, Drummond, Dellavedova, Sexton, and Nance. You got to have interest in these guys. So yeah, 8.7K with no Tristan Thompson. I think we'll probably get mid-30s minutes from Drummond. I love him at this price. I'm really, really high on the Cleveland guys. I think you want to get at least 2 Cavs in every lineup as it stands right now. DeAndre Ayton is questionable. This is pretty big news. If he plays, would have some interest in him. But if he misses, would make Devin Booker a really solid spend up. Then will make Aaron Baines a lot more viable. JV at 8.2, a little bit too pricey for me there. Randall, I do like the price here. The issue here is the minutes, right? He's not playing the 38 minutes a game that he was early in the season. He's playing about 32, 33. But he can definitely still get you there in a matchup like this against Washington. So I do have interest in Julius Randle. Aldridge looks like he's not going to be able to go. So that makes DeRozan a lot more viable. Makes Trey Lyles, he'll play big minutes. Larry Nance, again, he played huge minutes, 43 minutes off the bench. I think he's viable. He'll probably get a lot of the backup 4, backup 5 runs. So, yeah, I think Larry Nance is a pretty solid play there at that price. He's the guy that fills up the stat sheet, so I do like him. I don't think I get to Harrell. The minutes have been a little bit up and down. Did play 34 minutes the last game, which is good to see, but I need to see him play those minutes on a consistent basis. Naz Reid, always viable for GPPs, but he's foul prone. Marquise Chris, I actually do have some interest in at 6K. I don't think he's priced up enough. He's the guy that fills up the stat sheet. He's getting more minutes now, right? 30 and 33 in back-to-back games is really good to see. And again, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals. I do like Marquise Chris here. He's staying out of foul trouble, which is good. I think he's a pretty solid mid-tier play. I also have interest in Aaron Baines. This is strictly dependent on DeAndre Ayton news, though. If Ayton misses, I think Baines is very viable. Probably get about 35 minutes from him. We know Portland runs big with Whiteside. If Ayton plays, I have absolutely no interest there in Baines. Draymond Green's still out for Golden State. So we'll talk about some of the value there in a bit. I think Mitchell Robinson makes for a good GPP play. Not going to play huge minutes, about 25 or so. Again, a really good matchup. He's flash upside in limited time. I think he's, again, a pretty solid GPP play. No Tristan Thompson. Again, Cleveland is really, really thin. Jordan and Allen will split the 7 minutes. They're fine GPP options. No one I ever get to for cash. Trey Lyles with no Aldridge. Probably get 35 or so minutes from him. I think he's a pretty good play at this price. Let's see. I'm not going to get to Tice. James Johnson, I have some interest in a 4.9. It's going to be interesting to see what Minnesota does, right? Do they match the small ball and run James Johnson out there a lot for like 30-plus minutes, or do they just try to stick Naz Reid out there for like 25, 30 minutes, right? I don't know. I think one of the centers, whether it be James Johnson or Naz Reid, probably has a pretty good game here. It's just, trying to predict what Minnesota will do is a little bit tough. My best guess would be they kind of limit Naz Reid and maybe run a little bit more James Johnson in the 5. So I probably would have a little bit more interest in James Johnson here at under 5K. He's a good point per minute guy. The Chicago guys, I don't have a lot of interest there. There's too many bodies right now in that rotation. The only real guy I have interest in is Kobe White, and some interest in Shaq Harrison as well. Bobby Portis at 4.2. I mean, he'll play probably around 20, 25 minutes. I don't think we have to go there, though, on this slate. Jeff Green at 4K. He's been getting a little bit more run, right? 20, 29, and 27 minutes in 3 straight games. Now, that game was a blowout. He played 27. But this game against Charlotte, he played 29. It was a close game. I think he's an okay value option. Again, he's been playing well. He's been earning some minutes. Thomas Bryant, they just don't seem comfortable giving him a lot of minutes right now. I just can't do it. Yeah. Let's see. Guys like Bender and Toscano Anderson are okay. I probably prefer Toscano Anderson because Bender's minutes have been limited with no Draymond Green. Eubanks, he's just not going to see enough minutes in my opinion. I mean, probably around 20 at most, but don't think we have to do it. And that does it for center. Let's move on to power forward. Let's see. The Boston guys, there is still no Jaylen Brown, but this is just not the best matchup. Tatum, Hayward, Kemba, Smart. I'm not super excited about them in this slate. Kevin Love, I mean, you got to have interest in him. The Cavs are just, again, 8-man rotation, basically going to be like a 6-man rotation because, again, Zizic will probably play 10 to 15 minutes. McKinney will probably get 20 minutes. And then everyone else will get like 30 plus at least. So, yeah, even at 8.1K, I think Kevin Love is certainly in play here. Aaron Gordon, I think, is pretty viable here at under 8K. Good match against Memphis. He's been playing big minutes as well, probably about 35, 38 minutes. He's a guy that fills up the stat sheet. I have some interest there. Again, the Boston guys, they're okay. I guess Hayward would probably be my favorite play for his price, but he's been a little bit up and down. Let's see. Pascal, but he seems priced about right with no Draymond Green. He'll play big minutes, but not super excited about that. Saric, I mean, him and Mikal Bridges would be a little bit more viable if DeAndre Ayton misses, but still, my main priorities would be Baines and Booker if DeAndre Ayton is out. Cedi Osman, even at this price, I still think is in play because of the minutes, right? 39, 43, 38, 37. I think we probably get around mid-30s minutes from him. Good matchup here. I think he's a pretty solid play. Let's see, again, Hernan Gomez, him, Naz Reid, and James Johnson will kind of play, kind of split those minutes. I think probably it's a better spot, though, for Hernan Gomez and James Johnson here in the small ball team against Houston. So I have some interest in those guys. I think my favorite would be James Johnson, though, coming off the bench. Rudy Gay seems a little bit too pricey there, 5.1. Did play 36 minutes the last game. I think that did go to overtime, though. Yeah, I don't know if I can get to 5.1K for Rudy Gay. And the Chicago guys, I'm just not super excited about like Markkanen or Otto Porter Jr. or Wendell Carter Jr. Kuzma, I mean, he'll probably get more minutes if LeBron misses. He'd become a viable cheap option. I think my main priorities, though, would probably be Anthony Davis and then Rondo, assuming Rondo starts. Again, that's assuming LeBron is out, too. Toscano Anderson, right? He's not playing huge minutes, but probably around 20, 25-ish. He would be a viable punt, I guess, with no Draymond Green. McKinney, right, so he is in the rotation, but not playing big minutes. 20 and 19, I think we probably get about the same. He's a viable dart throw, right, at almost min-price. He can probably get you 15 to 20 fancy points. I think that really does it for power forward. Let's move on to small forward. Kawhi at the top at 9.2, so the Clippers are a little bit tough here. We have Steph Curry right now, currently listed as questionable. If Steph Curry can't go, there's probably a really good chance this game does not stay close. But if Steph plays, then I would feel a little bit more comfortable targeting these Clippers guys. Again, still the issue is they're such a balanced team that, like, even at this price, I don't have a whole lot of interest in Kawhi. Paul George, I think I would prefer Paul George over Kawhi for the price. I think he probably would be the Clipper I would get to if I wasn't to play one, but still, I don't know if I get to anyone there. LeVert at 7.5, he's been very up and down. It's a tough matchup, but the upside is there. I think he's in play for GPPs. Wiggins at 7.4. I mean, if Steph Curry's out, he would have to do more offensively, but man, I just hate playing Andrew Wiggins. So scoring dependent, so that's a downside there. DeRozan at 7.4. I know the matchup's not amazing, but with no LaMarcus Aldridge, he's going to have to do a lot offensively. I like him a good amount here in the mid-tier. Hardaway, I don't think I get to him. Even if Luka's out, I prefer probably Porzingis and then some cheaper options there in Dallas. Covington revenge game at 6.2, but seems priced about right. Let's see. Ross is a viable GPP punt with no Fournier, but I think I prefer DJ Augustine and Michael Carter-Williams for value plays there. And Shaq Harrison has actually been playing big minutes. 29, 34, and 36 minutes the last 3 games. I don't know if we can expect this trend to continue, but he is a good point per minute guy, so I think you got to have some interest here in Shaq Harrison. Let's see. The value Indiana guys are just still not getting there, even with Brogdon out and Oladipo banged up. I don't think I get to those Indiana value guys. All right, let's move on to shooting guard. So Harden and Westbrook both look really appealing. Again, 244.5 over under. It's just, do you think Minnesota can keep it close? That is a big if. There is a decent chance the game blows out. So that's the risk there with both those Rockets guards, but they have huge upside if the game stays close. I think Beal's priced about right there, 10.2K, more of a contrarian play. Now Booker, I would really like him if DeAndre Ayton misses. He's going to have to do it all offensively. Played 39 minutes in back-to-back games. He getting more peripheral stats right, even with Rubio playing. So I still like Booker a good amount, but that's dependent on Ayton. If Ayton plays, I wouldn't like him as much. No Levine. We'll talk about Kobe White in here a bit. CJ at 7.9. Just seems priced about right with Lillard playing. I don't think I get there. Got no Jaylen Brown. Makes those other Boston guys a little bit more viable, but still not super excited about. Now Colin Sexton at 7K. I think he's very much in play here. Playing huge minutes, about 40 a game. My concern with him is he is score independent for a guard, but again, they're just running such a short rotation. I think he's viable. I think Kobe White's a pretty good play here at 6.8. He's playing huge minutes off the bench, 35, 38, 35. Now he's starting. I like Kobe White a good amount here, even at an elevated price. Dinwiddie, again, him and LeVert, more contrarian options for me. I don't think I get to Marcus Smart with Kemba playing. Beasley at 6.2, I do have some interest here. We'll probably get around 30, 35 minutes from him. It's a really good matchup. The concern here is, again, he is a little bit score independent, but the upside is there if he's shooting the ball well. Lee, he would be someone I could look to if Steph Curry misses, but I would not feel confident that game staying close. Let's see, like RJ Barrett at 5.4. I don't think I get to him. I think I prefer Randall and Alfred Payton on the same team. Lou Williams, again, my concern is this game doesn't stay close, and they're such a balanced team right now. It's hard to get to recommend any of those Clippers guys. Let's talk about the point. So DeJounte Murray is out. He's going to be out for a while without returns. So that's going to make some of those. Here, let's go to San Antonio. Unfortunately, we got to consider these guys. Where are the Spurs? So with no DeJounte Murray, guys like Derek White, Bryn Forbes, and Patty Mills all become a lot more viable. I think all three get a boost. Normally they were playing about mid-20s minutes or so, each one of them. Again, a little bit up and down on a night-to-night basis, but average around mid-20s for all three. I think all of them go up for those three. So I do have interest in those cheap guards for the Spurs. Let's see. Other options here. Where are we at? Like DeLon Wright, right? Like he would be someone I would look to only if Luka Doncic misses. We got to keep an eye on Luka's status. Michael Carter-Williams, I think him and DJ Augustine are viable with no Evan Fournier. Both played 27 minutes the last game, and the game blew out too, so they probably missed out on a couple of minutes. I think both are pretty viable cheap options here. Jerome Robinson is currently listed as questionable. If he misses, probably more minutes for a guy like Shabazz Napier, who had a huge game. Dellavedova, I like a good amount at 4K. 45 minutes the last game. He's not a very high or very productive guy, but if he's going to play huge minutes at 4K, I think he's one of the better value plays of the day right now. So I do like Dellavedova a good amount. I think that does it. Again, Patty Mills, like all those Spurs guards, right? Mills, Forbes, Derek White, I think are all more viable. Patty Mills is 3.1K. I think he's a pretty solid, basically min price play. And also that's obviously a boost to DeMar DeRozan too. He's going to do more offensively, but that does, increase the chance of a blowout, especially if Luka plays. All right, point guard position. Harden again. Him, Westbrook, I like a good amount. It's just, do you think this game stays close? If the answer is yes, you probably want to get one of those guys in your lineup. LeBron, questionable. Luka, questionable. If LeBron misses, it's Anthony Davis. And then Rondo is value play. Then Kuzma will become more viable. If Doncic misses, it's Porzingis if you want to play. And then, value guys like DeLon Wright would become a lot more better play. Lillard at 9.1, the price is dropping, but don't know if I get to him. He hasn't been great since coming back from injury. D'Angelo Russell, this is the big question mark for me. He's also been terrible recently, like absolutely terrible. 39, 30, 15, and 35 fantasy points the last 4 games. But the price has dropped, and this is a match against Houston. This is a game where he could have a massive game. You're kind of, do you want to take the risk and buy low on him, right? Because we know the upside is there. He can put up 50, even 60 plus. So this is something I'm eyeing. I don't think he's going to be that high on because of recent performance. But again, do you want to buy low and take the shot? I don't think it's the worst idea. Steph Curry, right, he's currently listed as questionable. This is big news. If he misses, probably increases the chance of a blowout. But if he plays, I think, we would have had to see what the minutes restriction would be. He was on a 24 to 28 minute limit that first game. If it goes up, right, if it increases to like 30 or so, then that makes him obviously more viable. Rubio at 7.5. He had a huge game, 72 fantasy points the last game. Don't think we can expect that again. I think my priorities would be Devin Booker and Aaron Baines if DeAndre Ayton is out. John Morant, I'll pass there. Again, Sexton and White I have interest in. Alfred Payton at 6.3. I actually like. Now, again, his minutes have been down recently too. Him and Randall aren't playing huge minutes, but 28, 30, and 31 the last 3 games. Really good matchup. He's, a guy that can put up a triple-double too. So, again, Washington, one of the worst defensive teams. I think Alfred Payton and Julius Randle both make for pretty solid plays here. Got no Brogdon, but I'm still not super excited about the value there for the Pacers. No DeJounte Murray. Makes those Spurs guards more viable. Oladipo's questionable if he misses. I mean, I guess, again, the Holiday Bros, McConnell, Edmund Sumner, but they still just have so many guys they can use that don't know if I would get to any of them. No, Shabazz, he is a very frustrating player to roster for DFS. He is so up and down. Played 40 minutes the last game against Miami. Now, again, I think that was Jerome Robinson missed that game, I believe. If Jerome Robinson misses the game tonight, or tomorrow, I think there's a decent chance he plays big minutes again. But I wouldn't expect 40, right? I think we probably get somewhere between 40 and 24, so maybe like 30-ish. Again, the price is coming up, though, so again, he's just a very, very up and down player right now. Sam Ramsey coming out the bench, no interest there. The Memphis value, don't think we have to do that. I got Augustine. I think he's a pretty solid play here. He played 27 minutes. Now, he did shoot the ball really well, but still, they are pretty thin right now with no Fournier at the guard position. They don't feel comfortable getting Fultz huge minutes. So I think, Augustine and MCW both get around mid-20s minutes. I think both are pretty solid value options. Again, McConnell, just no one's playing huge minutes right now for the Pacers. I mean, I guess if Oladipo misses would make those guys more viable. Like Michael Mulder, would only consider him if Steph Curry misses. Played 32 minutes the last game where Steph was out. So yeah, strictly dependent on Steph there. Poole, kind of the same thing, right? No interest if Steph plays. If Steph misses, you could take a shot there. Again, I already talked about really liking Dellavedova. Rondo, right? If LeBron misses, we saw, what was that game? I think it was against Golden State. That game blew out, but he was on pace for over 30. He played 26 minutes at 29 fantasy points. I would assume he would start if LeBron is out, so he'd become probably the best value play of the day there. Again, I have an interest in Patty Mills with no DeJounte Murray. And I think that basically does it. So let's pray for a better slate today than the one tonight. But I will be live streaming for this one, guys, 45 minutes before lock. So be sure to check out the live stream. I will go over all the injury news we get throughout the day. Give you guys kind of a game-by-game breakdown. Can give you guys my core cash game plays and then answer any questions you guys have at the end. So thanks again for everyone. Come check the video. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you guys all tomorrow in the live stream.